Royalties are phenomenal financial instruments. We love to accumulate royalties. We do that via two mechanisms. But first, I just want to talk about why are royalties so awesome. It's their immense embedded optionality that comes at no cost to the royalty holder. So all these great discovery stories, Abra Silver, where we have a royalty, a great story going on there, is a good example of how these discoveries are being made, and they're all to the benefit, of course, of all the different stakeholders, including the shareholders in Abra Silver, et cetera, but also to the royalty holder. And we don't have to pay any additional monies for those exploration holes, as an example. And the other type of optionality within a royalty that's quite important that Greg loves, and that's commodity price optionality. We all believe that the price of base metals is likely to do very well in the future. We all love precious metals, and we love to have that exposure. So EMX accumulates royalties on projects around the world via two mechanisms. We do it during the mechanism that the bulk of our competitors do, which is to buy existing royalties or do royalty financings to accumulate those royalties on mining projects around the world. And then we also do it through another mechanism that is our forte, it's our hedgehog, and that is through royalty generation, where we are actually the geologists that go around the world and acquire the prospective mineral rights. We add value by building the geological models and illustrating the prospectiveness of those individual projects, and sell them on to junior companies and major companies for a combination of cash payments, share payments, which we do very well on the shares over our history, in addition to a royalty on that project. So we have multiple aspects of optionality. Exposure, the commodity price optionality, the discovery optionality, the share ownership that we have in these companies is another aspect of that. So over time, this has accumulated a portfolio of about 5 million acres of mineral rights where we have royalty exposure around the world. But we also do one other thing. We also occasionally come across an opportunity where we are so compelled that we cannot not buy this stock. And we've done quite well with our strategic investments over our 20-year history, netting out profits over 50 million USD. And those monies have been plowed right back into the portfolio, executing the royalty generation and the royalty purchases. And that's put us in the situation here today where we have 270 some mineral properties around the world. Many of them are very early stage exploration assets. Some we still own 100% of that we're building those geological models and marketing them onto the industry, all the way up to the top of the pyramid where we have 5 cash flowing assets. And if you follow EMX, you've noted that our annual cash flow and our quarterly cash flows have been doing exceedingly well, as the vision of building this portfolio over time and producing a cash cow is coming to fruition. And we're just delighted to see that. So I'll go through and I'll pick out some of the key ones within this portfolio that really drive the value. The Leeville mine, operated by Barrick and Nevada Gold Mines, has paid for many years. It's paid close to $20 million since we've purchased that royalty. It's currently paying a few $1 million a year, a couple $1 million a year, actually. I'd love to talk about discovery optionality. One discovery that's being made where we have a substantial royalty is on the Salina gold-silver deposit being advanced by Ridgeline Minerals. That was a project that we generated in Nevada, another exciting discovery that's going on there. And I'll make a point that we're exposed to all sorts of different metals across this portfolio, but we're particularly well exposed to gold and copper. Following along Greg's thesis, we think these are great commodities to be exposed to, and we have substantial land holdings in the copper fields of Arizona. And we're the participants in 2 major discoveries that are going on there. One at Park Salyer, being advanced by Arizona Sonora Copper Corporation. I almost forgot. Very delighted to have a royalty on that one. It's a good example of how we've executed this model. Recently, they made a $3 million stage gate payment to us in addition to our royalty on that asset, which is not uncommon as to how we build our deals. We like to collect monies along the pathway with stage gate payments, annual payments, share payments, et cetera, in addition to the royalty on the back end. Another key example of discovery optionality is the Peak project, which is an extension of the Taylor deposit, which was a big win for Arizona mining when South 32 purchased that for over $1 billion. Great example of what these gentlemen are trying to do, build up exploration successes and sell them to major companies for copious quantities of money. It's a good example of that. We own claims on the extension of that zone, and the system has zoned from a lead zinc silver deposit to a copper zinc silver deposit, and we're very excited to be exposed to that with our royalty on that property. And of course, South 32 pays for all the drilling expenses, and that's how we get that discovery optionality. Moving to South America, Caserones major copper mine has a very long multi-decade mine life and nicely cash flowing. We're expecting pre-tax income from Caserones over $8 million in 23, and delighted to be exposed to that long life mine. Also a nice molybdenum credit here at Caserones, and molybdenum prices have done exceedingly well in the last several months. Excited to see that. Moving to Northern Europe, Fennoscandia, Norway, Finland, and Sweden, where we're the largest single mineral rights holder of any company in this part of the world. We've been doing generative and acquisition work in this part of the world for a long time now. Viscaria is probably our next producing royalty that will come online. That's a copper, gold, and iron deposit in northern Sweden in the mining area of Kiruna. We're delighted to see that one being advanced. It is a past producer, but we have copious quantities of mineral rights, mineral right exposure in this part of the world, including nickel, copper, cobalt systems, gold systems, volcanogenic massive sulfide systems, on and on and on. It's been a productive business unit for us. We've continued to sell off projects to partners, and in fact, we sold a few projects this last week that you can read about in one of our press releases. In Turkey, which Greg mentioned, I worked for Newmont Mining Corporation. My last job with Newmont was exploration manager of Turkey. I've always been fascinated by the geology there, and after I left Newmont and built this portfolio, and we did project generation in Turkey for many, many years, and now there's a few discoveries that are coming into production within our portfolio, in addition to assets that we have purchased to augment that, executing both sides of our business there. So Balya lead zinc silver mine, the production advancement there has been less quick than we had hoped, but it is now in commercial production, and we are receiving checks at Balya. That's a lead zinc silver deposit in western Turkey with a long mine life as well. Very importantly, the Gediktepe gold deposit operated by Lydia Madencilik is paying us nicely. Had a tour of that operation a couple of months ago, and it's a very professionally run and well-capitalized project. I was meeting with the CEO that has the Yeni Pazar project, which is a copper, zinc, and gold silver deposit in central Turkey, and he was delighted that they are arranging financing at this point in time, and we're likely to see this one come into production in the not-too-distant future. So that's just kind of a quick run-through with respect to some of the key assets within the portfolio. But as I mentioned previously, we do make strategic investments, and one of the key strategic investments that we have on the books today is our 5% ownership in Premium Nickel Resources, ticker symbol PNRL, on the Venture Exchange. We believe this is a key advancing nickel, copper, cobalt discovery in Botswana, which some people call the Switzerland of Africa, a very functional country. We believe, as geologists and businessmen, that that's a key asset there. So it's always good to talk about who owns this company, and Paul Stevens has been an aficionado of the royalty business for a long time, purchased most of the stock out of the open market, formerly of Robertson Stevens. He's now in his 70s. He loves our business. Happy to have SSR as a major shareholder of the company. They sold us a portfolio of royalties to help augment the overall mass of the company. Great to have my alma mater, Newmont Mining Corporation, on there. They've participated in a few different private placements over the years. But very importantly, Franco-Nevada, which is the hallmark of royalty companies in North America and in the world. We're the only junior royalty company that they own stock in. We're the only junior royalty company they've ever purchased stock in. And they did that specifically, and they've told people in their investor presentations that they did that specifically because of their appreciation of our royalty generation business model. The folks who just buy royalties are competing with them, but those that are growing them organically, they view as something that they want exposure to. We have joint ventured a royalty purchase with Franco-Nevada in the past. We're delighted to have them as shareholders in the company, and we have ongoing discussions with Franco. I believe there'd be some nice synergies into the future. So we're here. Scott and Isabel are in the crowd. Thanks for coming. And anybody has any questions, we've got a booth right outside. You know how to find us. Thank you.